Pondoland is called one of Africa's last standing stones. In the northeast corner of the Eastern Cape in South Africa, it has retained its original culture and traditions, and most remarkably, ancestral land ownership has remained in the hands of the Amapondo despite both colonialism and apartheid. It is Africa's second richest biodiversity region. Offshore lies the Pondoland MPA, the largest marine protected area in South Africa, stretching 90 kilometers between the Mzamba and Umzimvubu rivers. Legend has it that the dunes in Kolobene are red because of the blood spilt by the Pondo ancestors who died protecting their land. Because of these dunes, Pondo blood continues to be spilt. They contain over 35 million tons of mineral ore, including one of the world's richest reserves of titanium. In 2007, an Australian-based company, Transworld Energy and Minerals, and its subsidiary Mineral Commodities, or MRC, applied for a license to mine the dunes. If granted, the mine would become one of the biggest of its kind in the world, covering 22 kilometers of untouched coastline stretching 1.5 kilometers inland. The application was challenged by the Amadiba Crisis Committee, a group of Pondo landowners. After countless legal battles, their land remains under threat by mining. In 2016, the chairman of the ACC, Sikosipi Radebe, was assassinated. The case remains unsolved. Nontle Mbutuma, another ACC spokesperson, has received numerous death threats and is now under constant bodyguard.
For me, mining is not a development. If there is an English word called destroyment, mining is a destroyment. It's a destructive because it's going to contaminate water, it's going to pollute air, it's going to change the culture. You know, the culture that we live there is still very good. That is why we respect nature. But once our people being forcefully removed somewhere else, and the culture is going to change as well, and people are not going to respect nature any longer. And I learned from my own parents that nature and the human being, they need each other in order to live longer.
In April 2019, a group of open water swimmers and journalists planned an expedition to swim along the 22 kilometers of coastline off the Kolobene dunes to raise awareness about the threat to this pristine environment.
We're going to be swimming past the area that's identified for mining by an Australian company to mine titanium, called Kolobene. We're going to be swimming 22 kilometers down past the site to create awareness of this and to promote ecotourism in the area.
Well, I love the Wild Coast, and I feel like it needs protection. This mining cannot happen, so anything going to support that and bring awareness to the area is something I want to be a part of. And then otherwise it's just about raising money, raising awareness, and having a good time, because it will be a great adventure. It's going to be, it's the Wild Coast. You cannot but have an amazing time there.
Okay, so I was brought in as the expedition doctor. So the first thing I help to do is set up the plan, specifically from safety side. So I'm working with the Medevac team from KZN, and they primarily are the safety people with the boats. So we look at the equipment we're bringing, how many boats, and the logistics of moving swimmers up and down to the swims, and then getting them to the shore and back.
But severe flooding in the region caused a change of plan.
Over the next 3 days, the wild swimmers are going to live in the community in Kolobene while we hike along that coast. And the idea is for people to engage with the people there and to find out what their perceptions are. It's about looking at, well, what are the viable options for this area, and can ecotourism be viable?
For me, the thing about the Transkei really is, I think it represents what South Africa really should be. The friendliest people, the most amazing environment. Development isn't roads and mines. Development's about sustainability. It's about using the resources that you've got.
The land for them is very important, especially that it's preserved, because it's their way of life. There are quite a number of initiatives that would engage in if we do get funds raised from the swimming. For example, along the M10 beach, we had an idea of developing an eco school where the indigenous plants can be found and their use by the traditional healers, where the next generation can learn the importance of those indigenous plants.
The first day started with some swimmers determined to get into the water, even if it was the Umtamvuma River in full flood.
Well, I'm glad I didn't swim because I would have been terrified to do it, but I did put some training in. What we did do was get closer to the story which I'm interested in, and we need to know more about the people's views on mining in this area. We need to have a complete relook at what the people are saying in the area, and that's what this trip did to us. We managed to speak to people. We got closer insights into why this area is so important to them and why they feel so utterly opposed to mining.
This entire stretch of coastline is just so special, not just to people around the world, but it needs to be, so whatever needs to happen here needs to happen with the will of the people who live here as well.
Sure, what an amazing walk, and I carried this canoe 23 kgs down this gorge. It's quite something.
Swimming across rivers with the threat of Zambezi sharks, it's been absolutely sublime. I'm going to take this memory to my grave.
Coming up. No, we want to go. We don't want to go down there. Guys, there's quite a current here. Yeah, gotta come ashore, please. Grab the grass. We got in a little bit early. A bit of a rapid doing. Not too bad, but might have banged a couple of shins and stuff. Craig's got a sore shoulder. Safety, prudent.
So we've just come about 300-400 meters further down to where we've seen from the viewing platform up above, with the rocks, the rapids, and there on this corner, and from here on in it looks like a deep, flat swim. So here we are swimming down the Umtamvuma River. Behind me there's about 3 waterfalls going into the water. Absolute paradise here.
You know, their grandfathers didn't go to school, so they handed one legacy, the land. That resonated very strongly with me. And when you see the beauty of this land, you realize what an incredible real estate legacy they've been handed.
Renowned Pondo environmentalist Senigugu Zukulu came to greet the group as they set off on the first leg of the hike.
You will learn whilst you walk, and you've got Sia. He's a fantastic guide. He will keep you happy as you walk. Thank you very much for braving it, and be prepared to walk the wild coast, to listen to our stories, and so we really appreciate your coming to lend a hand into our struggle, and then be able to take some of the pain and some of the labor and take it away and tell the other people. We know that by the end of this week, we will have made many other people aware of what we are faced with.
So our hosting homestead, they have to make sure that whatever they're doing is tradition. So the outsiders, they can see and really experience a Pondo experience, the Pondo living, how we live as Pondos, what we eat, how we sleep. No beds, just straight on mattresses on the floor. So we're actually giving them the other side of mind. They can think how the other people survive. It's not about money, it's not about big BMW, big roads, no. Just about life, about happiness. Crossed a nice footbridge called Umzamba River.
The hike has been amazing. The bridge though, got quite nervous, but I mean, just look around, it's quite phenomenal.
It's not particularly challenging, but yeah, we're getting a decent workout. And after this interview, I'm going to see what a couple of the tail enders are.
In this corner of the country, Eastern Cape in Pondoland, we're just living in peacefully, you know, because the land respects us and we respect the land. That's why we're actually protecting the land, to make the land to protect us as environmental as a whole. That's why now everyone here in Pondoland, they are so touched and connected with the land via spiritually and physically. So the homestead that we're in now is Mbutuma family. So Mbutuma family still here, and with Uzanele and Nonhle and their parents and grandchildren, it's many of them. So this is actually Nonhle's family. Nonhle is quite popular because she's a spokesperson of Amadiba Crisis Committee, so people might know her.
They underestimate Amambondo tribe because we're known from the backwards that we are uneducated, we don't know things. But I agree, we are uneducated. But when it comes to land, we are the professors. That's us. We learn from our own home what is land, what is important, the land to us. They were thinking we're going to jump when they said it's going to create jobs, because mining is just short term. And after 22 years as the lifespan of this mining, what are we going to leave to our children? Because once we allow the mining, we push ourselves to be a dependent to somebody else. We don't like that, because the land that I'm using today, it was being used by my own grandmothers. How come our indigenous forest is still there? How come our ocean is still clean? Because we know those things are important, and we don't even need to go to school to study that. We learn from our own parents, from the indigenous knowledge.
On day 2 of the hike, Sia had a rather special surprise in store, especially for the swimmers.
Sia kept it very quiet, his sort of talking about it. I thought it was just, another rock pool, another sort of swim, and we don't really need that. But he cajoled us and said, no, come on. And honestly, to be fair, all of us moaned and groaned the whole way down. It was quite a scramble to get down this very steep cliff waterfall face. And lo and behold, we got to the bottom and heard this thunder and this mist crashing. It was just around the corner of the waterfall. We swam out into the sort of river, went around the corner. Oh my gosh, it was spiritual. I think that must be a holy place.
We've had our first wild swim at least.
The song is a story of justice denied, when shots were fired at anti-mining activists. Sia explained the meaning of the words.
So the meaning of the song, there were shootings that was happening around Pondoland, specifically in Nyavini village. Tlangula came with other police. Then we looked and then we found the cartridge. Then we took the cartridge to the police station. As we said, now we want to put the cases. So Untlangula refused to give the cartridge back. So Wasmosha Untlangula, Akafuni, he refused to bring back the cartridge.
On the final day of the hike, the group would be hiking directly over the red dunes of Kolobeni.
So it's very supportive for them to come and visit and to see this physically, instead of hearing from the papers, the stories. So they've been actually on this place where they actually want to mine.
Sia told me a very interesting thing that I haven't heard any other mainstream journalists say since I've been covering this sort of story. And it's the idea of the red sands being, in community folklore, the blood of the ancestors. And not just the blood of the ancestors, but to a specific period of history, the Pondoland uprising. Sia's grandfather, for example, blood was spilt. They fought for their land. Walking through these pristine valleys, across the beach, crossing rivers, it's just been such fun. A really group of eclectic personalities with a huge range of different skill sets, from mechanics to environmental experts to journalists.
I had no idea there was so many waterfalls. You just go from one waterfall, one pool, one rock pool to the next. So yeah, I can't believe how beautiful this place is. Every time I come here, it blows my mind to see how gorgeous it is, and it's right here, it's so close. They are so respectful of the land, they understand the land, they live with the land, they live with nature, and they don't want the mining.
I mean, look what we're standing at. We're standing at a community-run lodge. They make a good few grand every month out of the rent of this place, and that's positive for the community. Mining would bring a totally new dynamic, and it would just destroy, I think, the essence of this place. So there's got to be a new deal. There's got to be a rethink. There's got to be something else. We cannot keep going on in this vein where there's violence and force and people are dying. It's just not the way to go. So I'm hoping that by doing these kind of events, we can bring the focus back to what's really important, and that this new deal needs to be struck.
We're actually living a simple life, like the Pondo life. So we're very connected with the land. So that's why if we think once we lose the land, we'll be losing our own identity.
The Pondoland swim became a hike, and then became a pilgrimage, a sort of African Camino.
The wild swim was blown onto the land, and we were able to hike and travel and see what we're trying to save. We've all got a deeper connection to this land now.
I think if we had managed to get out and swim in the surf, we would have been disconnected to an extent. And having seen, what could be damaged in terms of what's happening in the area.
I've really been taken aback about how beautiful this area is. I kind of feel like I'm in a movie set, King Kong or Last of the Mohicans. It really is fantastic.
Absolutely exquisite. I don't actually think I have words to explain it because it's just something that is just so beautiful and pristine and untouched.
The essence of what people are doing here is really peaceful and delightful. You know, that's what everyone comes and enjoys.
Each place was entirely unique. You know, I mean, people have seen on Roaming Reporter's Facebook page a beautiful sunrise that's taken from sitting on a loo. I mean, is there any better loo of a view in the world?
Well, my highlights has been engaging with the locals and especially the kids. With a little bit of hindsight, next time we come down here, we need to bring clothes.
Inathi Dove.
Wena?
Malwanda Mcudi. Matheka siyabulela. Siphelele nzimakho. Nosahlobo.
Daluxolo Mcoboti. Inokiduvisa.
The Amapondo and their cause are now part of us, and their story has become ours. We hope it will become yours as well.